What's going on, gamers? We got some pony hate coming to Gears already. Yeah, man, sharing the Gears with them, and now they're already acting up, right? We gotta find some articles here. Okay, first off, let's start off with this Smash Jump article. This guy gives Gears of War, because we're gonna do some reading, a 5 out of 10. Now, we all know what a 5 out of 10 is, and I've seen the beta, not beta, but yeah, I've even looked at the beta. I've seen the final game, I've watched it. 5 out of 10? I don't think so. We're ready to find out what this pony thinks because this guy is a pony. I've done some checking. He's playing it on PlayStation. He does PlayStation reviews. Look at the color of the website and everything. I mean, let's go up. You know what I mean? It's kind of pretty obvious. But here we are. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. A reloaded game that feels jammed. Gears of War Reloaded doesn't come without its faults. However, its tanky controls feel very outdated. You guys let me know what you think about that. Because it's Gears, you know what I mean? Every time I turned Marcus, it felt like turning a massive car with a pirate ship wheel. What the hell? Space Marine is like that too. I think. Was you want them to move like Call of Duty or something? I had many times where enemies, especially on insane difficulty, would gun me down because it took forever to turn around. For an updated version of a classic, it would only make sense to update the controls to feel better. What do you mean? You aim and shoot and get in cover, and if it sounds like a skill issue, right? Ponies, sit down. That way, it appeals to newer players used to more fluid control schemes. Dude, I don't understand how it would be any different than Last of Us. Gears is the reason Last of Us has that playstyle. The covering like that, Gears was pushing that in those times. It hit those metas. I know because I was there. And I love The Last of Us multiplayer, but what I'm saying is that Sony abuses that. What are we talking about here? It's the same thing. And it's a rematch. It's not a remake. And it's not going to Unreal Engine 5 or whatever the hell they were thinking or whatever. It's just ridiculous stuff. Furthermore, many of the bugs within the game are present. Okay, I had times when I saw straight through the map because it wouldn't load, or in sections where enemies had to be cleared to move on. Many would be stuck in their spawn, which makes it unpassable, as I couldn't take them down, therefore causing me to restart and leading to more frustration stacked on the tank controls. Adding to this were AI teammates, in both casual and insane, they feel completely brainless. I had many times where Don was stuck in a corner, running on the spot or not covering me. And in a harder difficulty, this is painstaking to deal with. So if you have others to play co-op with, you are better off here. If you want to beat it on the hardest difficulty, I don't recommend doing it with that. I beat Gears on insane. Having a partner helps out big time. That right there, I can't get mad at him for complaining about. But 5 out of 10, it's not a reason to give it a 5 out of 10 though. The purpose of Gears of War Reloaded was to spruce up a classic and make it better, mainly for multiplayer, but yeah. However, these bugs and outdated controls make it feel like it's stuck in the past. The AI not being helpful only adds to the pile. It had me questioning at times what exactly has been done to make it modernized. Nobody asked for that. Some people like the original stuff with just maximum performance. Nobody's asking for that. That's what we're going to have the new one for. When instead of being tuned up, it feels just like a casual port from an almost 20-year-old game. Decent looks, not so much with the sounds. When it comes to the visuals of Gears of War Reloaded, the biggest touch-up was to the characters and the frame rate. That's what I'm saying. It just made it way better. You got 120 frames. Like, what are we complaining about? Everybody knew what we were getting here. The armor on Delta Squad looks cleaner and clearer. For a game to develop for the 360 era, it's a glow up on something you see a lot of. Yeah, I know it sounds the problem. What is he complaining about still? Moreover, playing the game itself is smooth with a constant 60 frames, obviously. Something that should be more consistent in a generation that boasts about console performance. Agree? But this is essentially where the bucks stop on fidelity. Many of the backgrounds and environments feel barely touched or not even updated at all. I don't know why he's looking that hard. The cutscenes in the story are poorly rendered, with many instances of them running at a much lower frame rate than the actual gameplay. That's how stuff happens. A clear sign that the cutscenes were just copied over. I'm not surprised. It's kind of disappointing to see because it took away from the focus on the story at times. But I don't understand why he was thinking that it was going to, we're getting this for multiplayer. And I mean, they've made it better. And you've had that with Ultimate. It's the same story. I felt more interested in wondering why the quality was so much lower than the narrative. Audibly, things are not any better. The sound on many effects is often quite jarring. I adjusted my volume at the beginning, and character dialogue and music were nominal. However, they got drowned out in combat from the massive spike in headshot audio. Enemies like the wretches screaming are also deafening over anything else. The audio is just all over the place and sometimes feels like jump scares in a game that isn't a horror. With headshots being so prominent in multiplayer, I can only imagine how rough this can be for your ears. What do you mean? The headshots for Gears are amazing. I've always loved that. Definitely in 360 days. All right, let's go down. If you want Gears, be aware. So this is what this guy is saying. Here's the verdict right here, and here's where we end this, guys. 5 out of 10 we see. Overall, Gears of War Reloaded is a disappointing first endeavor on the PlayStation 5. While getting to experience the story is something I enjoyed, it's not the best part of this title. No shit, numbnuts. This guy's a... Dude. So anyways, it's at a 79 right now. If his 5 goes up, he's going to tank this down. I was hoping that it would stay above an 80, because I scrolled down and I didn't see his review. There's no 5 out of 10 up here. So I don't know if Meta's going to put it up or not. Hopefully not. Okay, so while getting to experience the story is something I enjoyed. So that's the best part. In the age of remakes and remasters, this doesn't fit the profile. With the visuals getting only some touch-ups, the audio is not great. Plus, the controls feel as old as before. Dude, Gears is Gears Melee with that button. I shoot you, aim, wall bounce. What are we talking about? What? Active reload? Shut up, man. Same thing on Last of Us and all that. Come on, man. Plus, the controls feel as old as before, making this feel just like a one-to-one port. Many PlayStation players may get turned away by the lacking that this title offers. Sure, could we have got a trilogy with this and more stuff? Yeah, I agree with you on that, but 5 out of 10, no, it's fine. Additionally, I was not able to review the multiplayer. So he's just going to give the campaign a 5 and separate. See, this is why you cannot post this review. He's not even including the multiplayer. He's just complaining about some stuff that he didn't get in the campaign, and because of it, he's giving it a 5 out of 10. See, that PlayStation mindset, man, single player narrative approach, up to date, you know what I mean, movie experience. Dude, this was about multiplayer with the ponies. Of course, you want a good campaign too, and like I said, they have made it better. But yeah, 1-to-1, making everything completely better. I wouldn't have expected them to do that. But yeah, so he's not doing multiplayer. Something that was a shame to realize that it is another iconic part of the series, so it's impossible to currently know how the servers of the game feel when playing against others. However, with the way that it feels and sounds, it's something that only the brave may be able to bear. Furthermore, with how the weapons all feel underwhelming, and he's just saying everything negative, I can only wonder how it translates into a competitive scene. Dude, everything is fine. So, here's the review on this guy, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't read this. I hope nobody reads this shit. Like clicking on it. So right here, although seeing Gears of War Reloaded is still a unique experience in gaming, it's hard to justify that with the title as is because it doesn't feel like something that is reloaded. Rather, it seems more rehashed and disappointing, and a disappointing way to reach a new stage in gaming and console exclusivity. You can always get more updates, and there's going to be a Switch version. Sit down and relax, Pony. Now, like I said, he's acting like he's telling everybody the whole of Gears when most people are getting it from multiplayer. You're going to enjoy the campaign, but that's not going to be your long-term on it. I put way more time into the multiplayer. So, yeah, and like I said, you guys know this guy. Look on this. PlayStation. That's the guy. He's a PlayStation guy, but you know, that's fine. I mean, like I said, we got the PlayStation fanboys acting up. You think we're done? No, we're not. Over here, this guy says, former Xbox exclusive Gears of War is now best played on PlayStation. You could be forgiven for being skeptical of Gears of War Reloaded. What with it being a remaster of a remaster. The original game was released exclusively for 360 in 2006, and despite quickly making the jump to PC, Gears remained an Xbox console exclusive series for 20 years. The Gears of War remaster in 15 was the Ultimate Edition, as we know, and then now we have the Enhanced into Reloaded. This guy says, despite the feeling like the quickest and cheapest way for Coalition and Microsoft to get Gears on PlayStation, the milestone is monumental nonetheless. Gears of War has been a banner name for the Xbox since its debut. A unique third-person shooter series with a strong identity and loyal fan base. Even original game designer Cliff Bleszinski is thrilled. Gears is now on PlayStation. Yeah, I saw that post on Twitter. It's just funny how the tables have turned, and now the competing platform is the best place to play the former Xbox exclusive. They're funny. Actually, you can go on PC and do the same thing with the controller. But you know, they're gonna say that, and it runs the same. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, what else are you gonna really do? It's maxed out. But you know how the ponies are. Sit down, acting up again. Appreciate the game and show some respect. You know, gotta put them in their place. Gears of War Reloaded has great DualSense support. A huge addition to the experience. Now, cool though. I hope you guys get to enjoy that. Now that Gears has almost completely gone multi-platform, kind of have to say that till it hits the Switch too, right? The difference between the versions largely comes down to preference. Whether you want Xbox or PS5, you're going to get 4K and up to 120. The PS5 version, however, has DualSense support, and Sony's controller can make a big difference in a game that is likely familiar to many longtime fans. Really? I mean, it's nice, y'all, but it's like, see, like I said, this is pony nonsense. Going to little pony rainbows. Yeah, I got this little thing on my controller. I'm still gonna body you if I was on there, right? Yeah, if I was getting back into it. Gears Reloaded. Now, I'm pretty sure you run across some good people. You know, in that game, you run across good people all the time. Just keep playing. You eventually keep running across good people, just like in any other game. Gears Reloaded makes very smart use of DualSense features. The adaptive triggers are put through the paces while firing, while L2 having its range of motion limited to making ADSing easy, and R2 having a very satisfying rumble while firing each of the game's weapons. So they just like that. I mean, like I say, it is a nice feeling. The haptic feedback isn't just used as a glorified rumble either. It's clear that some thought went into different actions on screen corresponding to unique haptic feedback patterns. So we see they worked with them to get that going. So I wouldn't just say they just did that as a lazy port. Even a function that I usually find underwhelming, the DualSense speaker makes Reloaded feel a bit more fresh by handling the game's numerous radio communications. While it could have been easy for the Coalition to ignore support for the DualSense, it's great that the studio didn't, making the re-release feel like a genuine passion project. Classic Xbox franchises are thriving on PlayStation 5. This guy is aware that Forza topping the charts and Gears going here. But yeah, so he's not bad like the other guy, but him saying it's the best place to play because of the DualSense, that is an opinion, but it is a nice additional experience that I can see people liking. But all in all, yeah, the big thing is over here, as we know, this game is not no 5 out of 10. So let me know what you guys think about that, all right? Peace out. Have a great day.